So, just a little heads up. We are definitely going through trial and error with the podcast. We filmed this week's episode outside, thinking that the noise cancellation on the headphones that we have would have been enough, but it turns out that a lot of background noise was picked up. The vocals are still pretty clear, and we've tried to mitigate the background noise. So, just in case you hear a couple of things in the background, uh, please pay it no mind. I still think this podcast episode is very insightful. I still think you can take something from it, and I still hope that you give it enough of a listen. Thank you. 10-year depression phase.
Yeah. I said I just started getting out of it past few years.
Yeah.
That's why I also just spoke about like knowing how to cope. I mean, like I think it was like with adulthood and like just trying to become your own person and becoming more independent. So I think beginning to see myself as not my dad's son because I think at the point where I crossed having lived more years without him than with him, that was when I started like kind of have to now become your own person independently and what what did he not do right that you want to do right. But so like for example like I really love my nephews and nieces like they're like my children and I don't know whether it's me projecting and like okay I wish I had more time I did spend more like I take pictures of them every time I see them.
So, would you say you really want kids?
That's not hard guy no.
Yeah.
Keep saying that. Kids are cool. You're alright.
Do you want kids?
You're alright. If I had I wouldn't mind.
Josh, get out. I wonder what your brother's gonna think watching this.
And he'll be like, cool. He loves children.
Yeah. Every time I hear it's like, I'm with Aisha, I'm with this, I'm with that. It's like he's always got a baby with him.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool. They're good company.
Yeah, kids are good company. They're better than adults. I prefer kids. I prefer kids to adults.
They're a lot more honest.
They're very honest. Yeah, you know you've matured when you can like accept the honesty of a child because they're brutal.
I think as a result, I'm very protective of children. Like when I like don't talk to that child.
Oh yeah, I'm
like
very
that.
protective
Like,
of
don't
children.
talk to
Yeah, yeah. Like ease up on that child. Like I'm very much so. Like I'm a softie for kids. They can sell me. I'll be like, take me. Yeah.
I think that is like obviously not be too soft that you just like spoil them. Like,
No, of
always
course.
like even if you're disciplining, like,
I might spoil kids. I don't know. I don't know.
So I think like when people say oh soft parenting and stuff like that, it's like okay, knowing how to talk to a child and not be an
Yeah,
asshole,
of
just
course.
like yeah, so I have lost track of the question.
It's fine. Free flowing. Would you say that you've reached acceptance?
Acceptance. Yes, I have actually accepted that they both are no longer here and they are not coming back.
Yeah.
But I still find it sometimes I still go back to what could I have done differently
Yeah.
and what if they were here? What if it even goes into the subconscious for you? For a very long time I spoke about my mom like she was still here. You know, I then wondered how it was easy for people to switch to was and talking about somebody that has passed because I didn't even catch it on time. It was later on, about after a year, that if I'm talking, I realized that if I'm talking about my mama, I'll be like, oh, she's this and she's that, and someone was not like, oh, okay, so you'll be going back home now, you meet mom, and I'm like, what? Oh, my mom is late, and I'm like, you don't talk about your mom like she is late, and I'm like, maybe because in my mind she's still with me
you
in every way.
Yeah.
And all, but with the depression thing, it's still something I'm working on currently because I can easily just find myself staring off into space for no reason.
Yeah.
I'll just be lost in thought.
Yeah. Makes
And
sense. Makes sense.
I have to catch myself most times. Like, okay, you need to come back. So here and now, imagining things going differently, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
What do you do with your situation now? and it affects a lot of choices I make. Is mom going to be proud of this? Is this something? Because I've always tried to be presenting in a way where even if someone sees me outside and come home and be like, ah, I saw this one doing this one outside, but it will still be like, okay, that's her.
Yeah, and your mom wouldn't have an issue with
Exactly,
you being you.
me being me. So even though she's no longer here, I never really had the urge to like, okay, I'm free to do something else now or anything. But one thing I did catch myself doing was this guilt of when you kind of feel a bit normal. You're trying to heal,
and then you feel bad for not still being in that state.
Exactly, you're trying to heal, and then you're starting to feel a little like your old self, and you're like, is this okay?
I'd like to actually even segue off of that. So I remember there was a time where I was definitely all over the place when it happened, and somebody made a comment about why I would post on Instagram when my mom just passed away. And in my mind, I was like, who do you think you are to decide how I choose to grieve or who I choose to share this process with? Yeah,
who are you? When my dad died, it was like a week. Was it a week or so? We still had guests coming in and out, and the whole talk was beginning to get on me and my sister. So we were just staying in our room and we were watching seasons that we've watched before. Most of us were not really watching anything. So I received a call from someone, and it was also like, "What's all that noise in the background?" And I'm like, "It's the TV," and the person's like, "The TV is not supposed to be on in that house." And I'm like, "What?" No, the the TV is not supposed to be on, and I'm like, are you being for real right now?
So we're supposed to fake it through the process, so it works for you. Just because I watch TV right now doesn't mean I don't cry myself to sleep till the sunrise. Do you get what I mean?
You're supposed to be good.
You're supposed to perform
when they want you to be good, and you're supposed to like put out the performance when they want you to put out the performance. Oh. Right.
So I think I'm definitely past denial. I'm past anger. I'm past bargaining. But I would say that I still ebb and flow between acceptance and what's that last one? Acceptance and depression. Yeah, I think I go through both. I could go like a good 6 months and I'm solid. Something happens and then it's like a week of, ugh, I can't get out of bed, you know? And so I think that's where I struggle now. It's that I have come to a realization that I will go into certain emotional and mental states that certain people won't understand, right? Which is why I pride myself in keeping people from different walks of life and different experiences around me, because it allows you to pull from those experiences. And having people around you who've gone through something very similar is very helpful in that process, because I have good days and I have bad days. But it's really, really, really tough. So I would say, yeah, I ebb and flow between the two, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of that phase, right? Because it's something you're living. It's like grief is alive. Like it has a soul of its own. It's not. It's the best way to like explain it. It's alive and it thrives, and so it's not something that you can just get rid of. And I don't think it's ever something you get through completely. And so maybe there will be a time in my life where I get to the point where it's acceptance and small glimmers of depression, and the depression doesn't last as long, or the feeling of losing something so heavily isn't there anymore. Guys, it's been real. I'm very grateful to both of you for being on this episode. I think you guys have given me an insight. I think with you, the insight that you've provided is that you were really young, right? And you've given us the insight of what it's like to be a young man losing a young boy, having lost your dad. And I think for you lost both parents at different stages of your life. And I'm very grateful that you chose to share with the world what that looked like. And yeah, so just so everybody out there knows that you're not alone, and you should rely on the people that are available and the people who are there for you, because you will need them when the time comes. And thank you very much for listening to us today. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We will have the visuals up on YouTube Some visuals will be up on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The audio will be on Spotify, and we'll have some audio on Apple Podcasts as well. Thank you so much for listening, and it's a wrap, guys.
Right.